Okay, so let's check out a second example where again it says find the slope between 2 points that pass through this time -3, 3, and 3, 33. So let's do the first step the same way we did it the last time. Step 1 is to rewrite the points or the ordered pairs or the coordinates, whichever you like to go with. We're going to say -3, 3, and we have 3, 33. Okay, so step 2 is to label these ordered pairs. And just like last time, we have an X and a Y in each of our coordinates. And this is our first set of ordered pairs, so we'll just place a sub 1. This is our second set of ordered pairs, so we'll place a sub 2 on those. Step 3, we're going to write our slope formula. Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 over X sub 2 minus X sub 1. And I like to put my little equal sign right next to it. Okay? Step 4, we're going to substitute all the X and Y values into this formula. But first, I like to do it right above the numerator and right below the denominator to help avoid any small mistakes. So our Y sub 2 is 33. And our Y sub 1 is 3. And let's keep our subtraction sign. Then we have our X sub 2. If you look up, you'll see that our X sub 2 is 3. And then our X sub 1 is -3. And we're going to keep our negative sign. And before we go any further, let's just get this out of the way. Two negatives right next to each other are going to equal a positive. So let us make a positive plus sign right there. So we have our numerator is now 33 minus 3. And our denominator is 3 plus 3. Step 5. Let's solve the numerator and the denominator. Now this is a real simple process. The numerator says 33 minus 3. And 33 minus 3 is 30. And our denominator says 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. You can do what we did last time, which is find the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor is the highest number that goes into both the numerator and the denominator. That number is actually 6 because the highest number that goes into 30 and 6 is actually 6. So if we want to simplify a fraction, we're going to just write it down here, 30 over 6. And our greatest common factor is going to be 6. So we can divide our numerator by 6. We can divide our denominator by 6. And this is going to give us our answer, our slope. So in the numerator, 30 divided by 6 is equal to 5. And in the denominator, 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1. But if you really want to finish it off, finalize it, you would write that 5 over 1 is equal to 5. Because any number over 1 is going to give you that any number. So 5 over 1 equals 5, and that is your answer. Slope equals 5. Okay, so let's look at a third example where we have a slope between the 2 points that pass through 8, 6, and 11, 5. And I wanted to do this one because it's going to come out a little bit different. It's actually going to end up in a fraction that you really can't simplify. And it's also going to be a negative. So if you see it in your classroom, you won't really be confused. Okay? So step 1, we're going to rewrite our coordinates. 8, 6, and 11, 5. Step 2, we'll start labeling XY, XY. We have our sub 1 and we have our sub 2. Step 3, let's write our slope formula, which by now you may start to be memorizing, which is Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 over X sub 2 minus X sub 1. Always the same process with these type of problems. Okay? Now, we'll substitute our x, y values into the formula, placing them up top and on the bottom. So we see our y sub 2 is 5. Our y sub 1 here is 6, keeping our minus sign. Then if we look at the denominator, we'll see our x sub 2 is 11 this time, and our x sub 1 is 8. Keep our minus sign there. Okay, so let's start filling this out. Finishing our step with substituting. So our numerator shows 5 minus 6, so let's write that here. And over our denominator, that shows 11 minus 8. And we'll write that. So far, so good. Now I want you to stop this video for a minute, pause it, and try to finish it from here. See what you get. Let's finish off the problem strong. So we have 5 minus 6. 5 minus 6 is a negative. It's negative 1 in your numerator. On our denominator, we have 11 minus 8. 11 minus 8 is equal to 3. So now we have negative 1 over 3. Just to be fair, this is how it should look when you all said and done. We actually can't simplify this fraction. There's no number that goes into 1 and 3. 1 is a number that goes into both of them, but that would actually just keep this fraction the same. So we can stop here. We don't need to go into simplifying the fraction. And we'll see that our slope is negative 1 over 3, and that's our answer. Before we get into this example here, it's something that I really quick want to just let you know, just in case you run into it. It doesn't happen often, but if it does, just want you to understand what this means. So I'll give you two examples. Let's say you have a 0 over any number. For this example, I'll just say 0 over 8. And let's say that you come out with this being your slope, okay? And you're trying to figure out how to simplify it, what this actually means. This just means that your answer is 0. Your slope is 0. That's all that means, okay? Now, on the flip side, let's say you have any number. Let's say you have 2 over 0, okay? Now, you can't say that your slope is 2. You can't even say your slope is 0. In this case, your slope is considered undefined. Okay? So just know that these two can be answers, a slope of 0, and you can have your slope be undefined when the denominator is 0. That's what happened here. Okay? So I just wanted to get that out the way. Now let's go over example 4. Find the slope between 2 points that pass through 6, 1 and 7, 12. Let's do this exactly how we've been doing it so we can get a quick, solid answer and make sure that you get 100% in your class on this type of problem. So step 1, we're going to rewrite as always, which I always recommend to rewrite the problem. Step 2, we'll label XY, XY, 1, 1, 2, 2. Step 3, write the slope formula. Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 over X sub 2 minus X sub 1. Make our little equal sign. Step 4, so we see that our Y sub 2 is 12. And our Y sub 1 is 1. Our X sub 2 is 7. And our X sub 1 is 6. And let's keep our minus signs on both of them. And let's go right ahead into substituting these X and Y values into our formula with our new numerators and denominators, which is 12 minus 1 over 7 minus 6. Just bringing it right over. So our numerator is 12 minus 1, which is going to give us 11. And our denominator is 7 minus 6, which is going to give us 1. And there we go. Just like one of our previous examples, we have a number over 1, which is always going to give us that number, which is the numerator, and that's 11. So we have here that our slope is 11, and that is your answer. Listen, great job today taking the time to help yourself increase your knowledge in math. And if it helped you, or you're sure that it can help someone else you know, make sure you subscribe and share this channel right after you press the like button, and leave me a comment on what you thought about this math video. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.